Taking a closer look at the faces of addiction.
There was outrage really around the world when police in Ohio released this photo of a grandmother and her friend suffering an apparent heroin overdose with a 4-year-old, her grandson, sitting in the back seat.
Dr. Frank McGeorge is here, and sadly, we've seen more of these types of images in the weeks since that picture came out.
That's exactly right, Devin and Kimberly. You know, there are photos and videos that have gone viral. Heartbreaking images of parents and grandparents in the midst of an overdose. Their young children left helpless by their side. Now, some argue releasing these images show the harsh reality of addiction, but others say the issue is really much more complicated. A toddler in pink pajamas cries as she pulls on her mother's arm, desperately trying to wake her up after she overdosed in a dollar store. The pictures and video of these incidents are shocking, but is releasing them helping or hurting?
We have to be very careful on how we perceive it and how we see it. We're a society of exploitation.
Scott Macy is the outreach and referral specialist at the Brighton Center for Recovery. 10 years ago, he was one of those parents in the throes of addiction.
Going to pick up my kids at school and getting high on the way there, you know, with my kids in the car, taking them to places to obtain the drugs that I took.
Macy says the images highlight the impact this epidemic is having on families.
One of the things we can take away from it is understanding the systemic aspect and how this is a family disease now, and the need not only to address the person suffering from addiction, but how it affects the family around them. Where we have to be careful too, because of the desensitizing aspect that might come about because of viewing these images over and over.
Family therapist Anisha Isbell wants the images linked to action.
If we could use these photographs to educate people as to how to get help for the addict and for the parents and for any children involved, then it becomes an educational piece.
How could parents place their kids at such risk? Well, a recent study by the University of Pennsylvania found opioids may interfere with our natural parenting instincts. The drug essentially short-circuits the brain's pathway responsible for bonding.
The brain actually winds up rewired, where it is being convinced that that next use is just as important as food, air, and water, basic needs.
The drug prioritized everything in my life.
Macy hopes the shocking images will also trigger compassion.
This is a disease like any other disease.
He's proof there is hope.
I'm hoping that it's the motivating factor that'll get them the help that they need.
Now, if you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, you can call the Brighton Center for Recovery at 877-9-SOBER-1. There are programs available for addicts, family, and friends, and even children. And that's kind of an odd little thing. The Brighton Center was saying that they have seen families where the older children and the parents both had to go in because they were using narcotics together.
Oh, it's just hard to imagine.
It really is. All right, Doc, we appreciate it.